thank you so much for joining us again today. We're doing another segment of Meet the Agent. Today, I am interviewing Rebecca Gray. She is an expert realtor out of Las Vegas. She serves the greater Las Vegas area. And so first, I just wanted to say thank you so much, Rebecca, for agreeing to speak with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. I'm excited to talk with you. So I know from speaking with you that you grew up in the Georgia, Tennessee area and that you moved and you're now servicing in Las Vegas. So can you tell us sort of about your process, about how long did it take you to really become familiar? Because I know you have a huge swath of territory that you service in Vegas. About how long did it take you to really transition into doing real estate in a place you're not from?
Well, it took me a while, honestly. When I moved out to Las Vegas from the Southeast, I moved out here to work for a startup company doing sales for them. And so I ended up running a sales division. I had sales reps out in the field. I had sales reps in house as well, and also internationally. And so although I hung my hat in Las Vegas, for the first 5 or 6 years that I lived here, I didn't really get to know my community that much. I was on the road a lot. And so when I decided to make the switch into real estate from that career, I had 12 people, no exaggeration, on my SOI list. I mean, that was 12 folks. And it took me, 45 minutes to get through those phone calls. So I think they got tired of me asking if they wanted to buy or sell real estate, to be honest. So I kind of needed to get out and meet more people. And finally, having the opportunity to be here and not be on the road, I got to kind of know the city and fall in love even more with the city where I live. And so, if you work in Las Vegas and you only specialize in one area, you'll probably starve to death. We are really, although we're the greater Las Vegas Valley, it's a rather small town. So I work North Las Vegas, Henderson, Las Vegas. I work over in Summerlin. We go down to Boulder City. We go over to Pahrump. Like, we work all over. And it took me probably, I'm going to say it probably took about 3 or 4 years for me to really reach a point where there was some stability in my career. Part of that was getting started, right? Part of that was not knowing the community that well and not knowing that many people. And part of it was just a symptom of when I got into real estate. I started in real estate in 2011, and we were the bottom of the barrel when it came to real estate markets at that time. And so a lot of what was happening was, even though people would sell their homes, they were selling and moving. They were leaving to go to other cities where there were better opportunities for them. And so it didn't really lead into a lot of repeat business. And also, those people that were short selling or people who had foreclosures, they now were restricted on how long they had to wait until they could buy again. And so it really was, I'm not going to lie, it was a rough 3 or 4 years getting into it. And there were certainly some times when I had to ask myself if this is really what I wanted to do. And I'm really glad that I stuck with it. I believed in myself, maybe more than others at times, but I'm glad that I did. And now I was right. I knew I was doing the right thing when I came into it.
Well, that's great. I love when people find exactly when they start to watch somebody do exactly what they're supposed to do in life. It's a pleasure to watch that.
Right.
And so I know that you work with a team and that you all have different. I mean, I guess any real estate team is kind of a box of personalities that you're dealing with, but more so in real estate because there's a little bit of independence that you need to foster in each of your agents. So can you talk a little bit about how you came to assemble your real estate team, and then how you work with them to manage them while still allowing them to retain the strengths and the unique qualities that makes them so good at what they do?
Sure, absolutely. And you're 100% right. Having a team and trying to manage a team, we kind of joke on our team. My business partner and I are called the mamas, because we're kind of den mothers, right? We're here for you when things aren't going well, and we're here to help you manage things. We're here to guide you, and our goal would obviously be to keep our little babies in the nest as long as possible with us. But we would never fault someone for learning what they could with us and then going on to start their own teams and to follow their own dreams. But it doesn't mean that we don't want to keep all of our all of our little ones with us. My business partner actually specializes in high-rise condo hotels. and high-rise units here in Las Vegas, which is a super robust market. She has specialized in that for the last 14 years. And I specialize in residential real estate. And so we complement each other very well. We actually partnered up earlier in 2019. So our team is actually a newer team. However, our friendship spans many, many years. And it took me a long time to get her to come and work with me, but finally I won. So she came over. We started the Williams Gray team over at the brokerage real estate firm. And very quickly, even though we weren't planning on it, we brought on a new agent by the name of Branson Real, and he fit in like we're just little three peas in a pod. And he's a newer agent. So just like I enjoy educating my buyers and my sellers, I enjoy educating and coaching agents as well. And so now he's ours, and we get to do that. And then we very recently have brought on another licensee. His name is David Schick, and he's going to be working, I think, mostly with Heidi in the high rise, but he's also going to be doing property management. So what we're doing is we're building our team very organically, but we're building our team um, in a way where we're going to be able to service just about anything that anyone could need from us. And along with that, definitely comes some hiccups and some hurdles, and we definitely have personalities, and we all have to kind of get along and help each other. But we keep everything very fluid, and we want to make sure that we nurture our agents, but we don't suffocate our agents, and we want to let their personalities shine. So although we have guidelines for how we want things done, we always are encouraging our agents to let their personalities shine. And maybe we have a loose script that you might want to use, but I want you to say it in your words, not mine, because that way it's going to be natural and genuine in approach. And I think that's one of our biggest things is as long as our agents are genuine and they're ethical and they're honest and they come to us when they have questions, and they're not doing dangerous things out there with their clients' money, then we're good.
And moving into discussions about the larger real estate market on a whole, I mean, something that comes up a lot for us is this sort of idea of another recession. Are we facing it down? And granted, I know that, there are some indicators that it won't be 2020. There's the interest rates are going to stay the same next year, stuff like that. But I'm curious too, because we are seeing, sign of a slowdown in like the high rise and luxury markets and stuff like that. So from your vantage point, because I think you have a really interesting perspective being in the city that you're at in Las Vegas, where you're, have a lot of those high rises, plus with your partnership, what do you see happening in the real estate market in 2020?
I foresee Las Vegas maybe being a little bit different than other markets, which wouldn't shock me because we've we've been different than other markets. So I don't know the whole time I've been in real estate. So you don't like the market, stick around for 6 months because something else will happen. But that being said, our median home price is right around 300,000. It's been in that general price range for quite some time now. And we're seeing interest rates maintaining very, very low interest rates. It was last year we had some people who had like a 4.75 or 4.85. They're like, oh, that's such a high interest rate. And I have to remind them that in the 80s, people were paying over 11% interest rates and they were still buying houses, right? This is not that bad. But I think we've gotten spoiled. And I think also in Las Vegas, as homeowners, we've gotten spoiled a little bit in that we were so low for so long that really we as homeowners got spoiled when prices started to come up. It was almost like a boomerang effect where we went all the way out there and we were just at the bottom of the barrel in pricing. And now here we come back, and it's coming back with more force than it went out, right? So for years, we actually saw double-digit increases in value year over year. I mean, our valley it was crazy. You would see 11%, 17% I saw in some areas of the valley. And sellers all of a sudden got dollar signs in their eyes, a la cartoonish, and they just thought it was going to keep going. And the reality is that it can't keep going, right? We don't want that. That's not a market that is going to be a stable market and a sustainable market. So what I really think is going to happen in 2020 is that we're going to see what some would consider to be a slowdown, what I would call stabilization. We're going to see our market be stable. We're going to see maybe some increases in value, but we're going to see those increases, I think, closer to the 3%, the 4%, the 5%, depending on where you are in the valley. We do have some areas of the valley that have a little bit more room for growth than others right now. So I kind of foresee that. I think we're going to see a little bit maybe of a slowdown in the new homes. I think there's been less permits applied for and pulled as of late. But to me, that's kind of a good thing just because, I had clients who wanted new homes last year and we were on a lottery system again. So all of these things to me kind of lend to just kind of seeing a stable market. We'll take it. I'm happy with that. I don't foresee a big bubble bust here. I think that the people who are sitting on the sidelines and saying, oh, well, we're going to wait for the next recession to hit and it's coming, I think they're going to end up missing out. And I think when they do buy, when they realize that it's not going to happen the way that in their minds they foresee it, or maybe what they hear on the news, they're going to actually be buying less house for the money that they have because they're going to miss these low interest rates. And so, I'm never that agent who's like, it's a great time to buy, it's a great time to sell. I'm not that agent who thinks it's a great time to do both. And it all depends on what your goals are. But that's why I like really having a very honest conversation with my buyers and my sellers about what it is they're looking to do. Because if it's not the right time to do what it is that they want and really capitalize on it, then we talk about that. But I do think we're into a stable market, and I think we're seeing some give and take on the buy side, and I think we're seeing some give and take on the seller side too.
Interesting. I think it's a really good point too, that we tend to freak out even with just a little bit of stabilization and call that a slowdown when it's
Right.
just evening out.
Right. We're just getting to where we need to be. I mean, I wouldn't consider that, I don't think I'm seeing a bubble bust here. I think I'm just seeing like, oh, you guys, it's been a long time since it was a normal real estate market in Las Vegas. Let's just enjoy it for a minute.
Exactly. Yeah, you see that a lot in Southern California too, where they're like the home prices are dropping, and yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And then, so you mentioned earlier that you specialize, your core specialty is really residential real estate. That's still pretty a broad market. Are there any segments or niches within residential real estate that you particularly take to?
No, I wouldn't say that, no, because if I just took to one little niche, again, I'd starve to death. I can work any type of transaction residential. I mean, obviously I love my first time home buyers. I love my VA buyers. I love all of my buyers. I work with investors. I work with, sellers who have portfolios and are looking to, have a 5 to 7 year hold and then sell their portfolio. I do not do property management, although we are now, I just mentioned before, we are going to have an agent on our team here that's having his property management designation added to his license. So we will be able to handle that. It just won't be me. Um, but, no, I mean, everything from the $60,000 condo to the, $1 million house, and in between. I am a person who uh, I'm known for being very blunt and honest, especially with my sellers. I will walk through your house and I tell people, listen, I'm not going to be your favorite person today because I'm going to walk through and tell you to take this down and move that. And, I'm going to do this. But when you close escrow and you get those funds in your bank account, I'll be your favorite person on that day. And that's really what matters, right? So I'm known for being just very forthcoming and blunt and honest about what we need to do to get you top dollar for your house or what you need to do to be able to get the house that you want. And it doesn't matter what that price range is. If you have money and want to buy a house, I'll help you. And if you have a house and need to sell it, I'll help you.
Well, in touching on what you were discussing when you mentioned the iBuyers, because we are seeing that a lot too, where there's new introductions of new technologies or new ways of buying and selling that's about making it as hassle-free, and typically those tend to cut out the real estate agent, and that's very much opposed to how we feel here at Set Schedule, that we try to introduce technology that enhances that relationship because we see it as so pivotal. But
Right.
can you talk about that? About let's say you are a first-time, home buyer or seller, you have very limited knowledge about the real estate market. What are the benefits of working with a realtor versus just going it alone or using those iBuyers or those kinds of services?
You know, I mean, if you go with a realtor who has experience, right, and they've spent a lot of time in the trenches of, of selling real estate. There's experience, there's knowledge. There's something that's brought to the table that technology doesn't bring to the table, and that's really truly a human factor. Um, you know, Technology isn't looking out for you. Technology isn't also laying awake at night worrying about your transaction, which I promise you, I do. I joke and say that I should, you can take wine bottles and turn them into glasses. You like cut the wine bottle. I joke and I say that I should start doing that for my clients. And each bottle of wine that I drink on their behalf, I turn it into a glass and I give it to them on closing day because, I do worry. I do take it personally. And I do want to make sure that my clients know that there's somebody standing right next to them the entire time. Now, is this technology out there? Is it possibly a benefit? Sure, depending on what your goals are. But a good realtor is going to actually bring everything to the table and show you all of your options. I use these iBuyers. I will get offers for my clients who are thinking of selling, and I take them to the table. What is it that you're looking to achieve here? Because if that's a tool, I can still help you. You can sell it to the iBuyer, and I can still guide you through that and make sure that you're protected and make sure that there's somebody fighting on your side. But just, throwing my hands up and saying, I'm not going to do anything with iBuyers, this is an ever evolving industry. And if we're not keeping up with it and we're not also evolving, we're going to get left behind. No matter what disruptors are out there, um, I think it still always goes back to communication and experience and an ability to be blunt and negotiate and protect the person that I've been hired to protect. So yeah, is the iBuyer out there? Is it good for some people? Sure, it's great for some people, but I can still help you navigate that water because do you know how many iBuyers are out there? A lot. So I can still help you navigate that. You just got to give a call and let me know what your goals are, and then we figure it out together.
That's perfect. Yeah, I love that idea of using that technology to enhance rather than because yeah, you get a lot of people get kind of want to do a quick
Right.
a stark separation of that where they don't want to
Right.
have anything to do with it. But you're right that if you don't get involved in it, then you get left behind.
Absolutely. And I would hate to get to an end of a transaction and find out that, I didn't provide my client with all of their options and something could have gone better for them and met their needs better than what I normally offer as my standard services, right? So it's a matter of, again, a human factor. What is it going to work best for my client? It's really they're in the driver's seat. I'm just navigating with them.
Well, thank you so much for making yourself available, Rebecca, to speak with us today. I do appreciate you taking the time, carving it out of your busy schedule to talk with us and share some of your knowledge with us.